Let's be clear. You were never meant to be safe. You weren't born to blend in, to stay small, or to play by the rules written by fragile hands. You were made to disrupt, to ignite, to transform everything you touch. And they know it. They've watched you move through storms that would have crushed the average soul. They've seen you carry weights that weren't just heavy, they were historic. And still, you rise, unshaken, unfolding, expanding. This is not about luck. This is not a coincidence. This is cosmic confirmation. Chosen one, your very existence is a threat to everything built on illusion. You are living, breathing proof that true power can't be controlled, bought, or faked. And that makes you dangerous. Beautifully, radically dangerous. Every critic who swore you'd collapse, every voice that tried to reduce you, every trap laid in hopes you'd break, silenced. While they scrambled to make sense of your victory, trying to patch the holes in their plans, you've already transcended the game. Take a bit of time to consider your financial situation. Remember those unusual instances when money appeared exactly when you needed it the most, when bills were paid in a surprising manner, or when unexpected reimbursements arrived, and when possibilities developed out of virtually nothing at all. That was not a random occurrence. Rather, it was the activation of your financial safety shield in response to their attempts to deplete you of your resources. They risked a fortune in order to bring about a lack of abundance in your life. A series of rituals were carried out with the express purpose of recognizing your abundance. In order to take advantage of your prosperity, they employed energy vampires. And what do you think happened? Instead, their accounts started to diminish in value. The underpinnings of their financial situation began to disintegrate, and their investments started to suffer losses. It is impossible for the universe to make errors. Your success, which they had attempted to take away from you, came back to you in greater quantities. Every single dollar that they made an effort to condemn you turned out to be a dollar that was invested in your future achievement. They activated the global law of reciprocity against themselves and for you. This law cannot be altered or perverted. It can only be activated. They did this in order to benefit themselves. Pay close attention to the sudden financial discoveries that are occurring in your life right now. It is important to take note of the unexpected customers, the unexpected possibilities, and the doors that unexpectedly swing open to expose treasure rooms. Not only are these not accidents, but they are also not coincidences. The rewards of a battle that you have been winning without even being aware that you are fighting are now in front of you. The cosmos has your signature on file, and it is allowing all of the abundance that is intended for you to be delivered directly to your doorstep, with interest that is compounded by divine arithmetic that is beyond the level of human computation. Your creative output blossomed precisely at the moment when they were making the most arduous efforts to stifle it. Keep in mind that strange thought that occurred to you at 3 o'clock in the morning, that solution that came to you while you were showering, and that download that you received while you were driving. This was not only inspiration, rather, it was divine intervention, as it allowed you to overcome their obstacles, get around their energy dams, and be flooded with creative power. When they were very convinced that they had severed your supply, they are unable to figure out what happened. They are perplexed by the consistent nature of your invention. Each and every creative hurdle that they placed around you turned out to be a springboard for your next fantastic idea. Despite every effort to obscure your view, you were able to maintain your lucidity. They employed their most powerful form of cognitive warfare, and in response, you came up with something that they had no possibility of predicting. The way you express yourself creatively is not merely art. Rather, it is spiritual battle. This means that each time you build something, you are destroying another piece of their attempted jail. Every time you come up with a new idea, you are able to break down another part of their prison. Not only is your creativity a gift, but it is also a weapon, and you have been using it with great skill without even being aware of the conflict you were engaged in. Remember that circumstance that ought to have utterly obliterated you, the one that appeared to be the conclusion of everything, the treachery, the loss, and the devastation that ought to have left you damaged beyond repair. At this moment, you are not merely surviving, you are thriving. You have not merely recovered, you have not merely evolved, you have not merely healed. They carefully planned and executed the events that led to your unfortunate demise. They determined the precise pressure locations within the body that would cause a typical human to break. Their assault was timed to occur when you were at your most vulnerable. There was no doubt in their minds that this would be your downfall. Instead, it turned out to be your rebirth. If you've been touched by God's goodness, don't keep it to yourself. Click Super Thank You and sow a gift of $50 or more to help spread His light. Your giving becomes a ripple of grace, blessing hearts and building His kingdom. Let His overflow pour through you. Have you been aware of the copycats that are surrounding you? The sudden imitators that arrive out of nowhere imitating your style, copying your words, recreating your business model, and adopting your spiritual practices. The individuals in question are not admirers. Rather, they are energy thieves who are attempting to decipher and replicate your power stamp. They are paying rapt attention to each and every one of your movements. Despite their best efforts, they continue to produce pale imitations, which are hollow reflections and empty vessels that lack the genuine power that emanates from your being. They analyze your speech patterns and dissect your methodologies. They are trying desperately to reverse engineer your magic in order to extract your essence and replicate it. Your power is not a method that can be imitated or a formula that can be copied. Rather, it is the culmination of your soul's journey across multiple incarnations. This is something that they fail to comprehend, and something that they are unable to comprehend. It is the one-of-a-kind vibration that can only be produced by your particular amalgamation of experiences, insight, and divine connection. It is encoded in your spiritual DNA. They are able to imitate the external, but they will never be able to replicate the alchemy that occurs within you. Their incessant desire to imitate you is not only an act of flattery, rather, it is indication that they perceive something in you that they ardently desire but are unable to have through their corrupt tactics. Through their mimicry, they are acknowledging the genuine power that you possess. Those spontaneous inclinations to vary your routine, those random impulses to take a different route home, those unexplainable thoughts that you should cancel plans or postpone appointments. These were not just sentiments of intuition. They were your spiritual navigation system, leading you away from ambushes that had been deliberately prepared. After analyzing your patterns and determining your routines, they predicted precisely where you would be and when you would be there, and then they placed their traps in accordance with those calculations. They set up their energy traps at the coffee shop that you go to every morning. They placed their psychic hooks in the gym where you work out, and they placed their spiritual assassins along the routes that you go on a regular basis. After that, you altered your path, which was directed by a power that they are unable to perceive or grasp. You were overcome with an odd desire to visit a different coffee shop. On the other hand, you choose to work out at home instead. You chose to go in a different direction for no apparent reason, and as a result, you strolled right by their complex traps, their carefully planned ambushes, and their attacks that were methodically organized. Divine protection is revealing itself in the form of intuitive nudges, and your spontaneity is not a random occurrence. The adaptability that you possess is not merely a characteristic of your personality, rather, it is a spiritual battle technique that is being employed you. Every time you followed that intuition that you couldn't describe, you threw off their calculations and rendered their preparations pointless. Think back to the times when you felt an unexplained impulse to change something, to do something, or to go somewhere, and then later realized how lucky it was that you made that change. It was not a coincidence. It was not a fortunate break. Rather, it was divine interventions that orchestrated your steps, adjusted your trajectory, and shifted your timing in order to guarantee that you stayed untouchable and unreachable by those who were plotting your doom. You have guardians beyond the curtain, whose responsibility it is to keep you safe, and they carry out their task with the utmost accuracy. You're not here by chance. Feel the pull, tap, join to unlock truth, purpose, and a tribe that gets it. This is more than a membership. It's your calling. An average person would have been crushed under the weight of the burden you have been bearing. The difficulties you encountered would have been enough to break someone with a normal capacity. Any person who was not divinely fortified would have been unable to overcome the hostility that was put against you. In spite of this, you are standing here, not only surviving, but also making progress, not merely enduring, but also triumphing. You were able to take in everything. You digested what would have destroyed others. You transformed poisons that would have been fatal to the majority of them. You carried weights that would have crushed the most powerful of them all. Your capability is not merely exceptional, it is beyond human comprehension. It's not just that your endurance is outstanding, it's literally miraculous. Observe how your energy levels appear to be replenished at the very moment that they should be at their lowest. Give careful consideration to the manner in which you are able to discover a second wind, a third wind, or even a 10th wind when others would have given up long ago. The energy that is pouring through your being is not adrenaline or determination. Rather, it is cosmic energy that is maintaining you beyond the normal capacity of a human being and empowering you beyond the typical endurance of a human being. Your connection to a power grid that is not constrained by physical boundaries has been established. When you speak your truth in a straightforward manner, you may notice that certain others become curiously uncomfortable around you. You may also see that they shift and squirm when you do so. Additionally, you may notice that they suddenly feel the need to leave the room when you step completely into your genuine power. It is not a coincidence that the manifestation of spiritual disharmony in the physical sphere has occurred. The energy field that you generate via your honesty is one that literally drives away counterfeit vibrations. When you speak from the depths of your being, without filtering, without watering down, and without making concessions, you send out a vibration that causes others who are functioning from a position of borrowed power or counterfeit authority to experience an incredible amount of dissonance. A patchwork of spiritual practices has been accumulated by them, including the study of spiritual writings, the memorization of rites, the accumulation of certifications and titles that they have acquired, stolen, and cobbled together by themselves. However, When they are confronted with your unadulterated, raw reality, their sophisticated frameworks begin to break apart, and failure occurs each and every time. When you make decisions that prioritize authenticity over performance, sincerity over deception, and truth over convenience, you have the ability to increase the protective field that surrounds you. Your authenticity is not merely a matter of moral choice. Rather, it is a spiritual armor that cannot be penetrated by any weapon that has been used against you. A frequency that generates harmony with cosmic truth and jarring disharmony with untruth is what you should think of when you think about your authenticity. This means that you are physically vibrating in rhythm with the cosmos itself when you talk, act, and live from your real core. This alignment creates a power field around you that acts as both a detector and a deflector, recognizing falsity and preventing it from coming into contact with your essence before it can do so. As your level of authenticity increases, the impassibility of this area will increase as well. Blessed by His grace, click Super Thank You and give $50 to spread His light. Your gift plants seeds that grow His kingdom. Be the blessing. You are experiencing a newfound sense of lightness, an unexpected sense of freedom, and an unexpected capacity to move with ease in a place where you previously felt bound. These are all manifestations of generational curses that are breaking around you. Those are the karmic cords that are crumbling into cosmic dust. Those are the ancestral ties that are getting released. The constraints that had been imposed on your ancestors for centuries have been removed from your lineage. It has been shattered over your head that the roof that housed the potential of your forefathers has been broken. When you look around, you see that the walls that defined their potential futures have been destroyed. Dreams that appeared to be unattainable just a few short months ago now look to be within reach. Objectives that were previously considered to be a fantasy now feel as though they are unavoidable. Accomplishments that were once considered to be in the region of someday may have moved into the world of now. Without a certain, this is not a form of delusion or magical thinking. Rather, it is the inevitable consequence of the removal of spiritual shackles with respect to your nature. Your inexplicable self-assurance is not some form of arrogance. Rather, it is the sensation of walking unrestricted for the very first time. You have finally been liberated from the haze of generational constraints, and your startling clarity is not a transient condition of being. Rather, it is your inherent state of being. The expansion of your vision is not an unachievable goal. Rather, it is the reclaiming of your birthright from those who try to prevent you from achieving it. Within your family tree, you have become the person who eventually breaks patterns that have been passed down from generation to generation. You are the circuit breaker. It is not just for yourself that you have healed the ancestral wounds, the family curses, and the karmic deaths that have occurred over the course of generations. You have also healed them for those who came before you and those who will come after you. Throughout the course of your bloodline story, you are the character who brings about a transformation that will alter the narrative indefinitely. While you remain mute, observe how everything they plan to do to you ends up happening in their own life instead. By spreading rumors about you, they are revealing their deepest, darkest secrets. In their life, the relationships that they attempted to make poisonous are instead dissolving by themselves. What they wished would happen to you in terms of your financial situation is now happening to them instead. This is not retribution. Rather, it is a rebalancing of the cosmos. This is not a form of punishment. Rather, it is the consequence of the natural law of cause and effect, coming full circle. It is not karma. Rather, it is divine justice that is putting everything in its proper place. They are attempting to ruin a job that is opening doors that they are unable to access. That possibility that they attempted to obstruct is growing to a greater extent than you could have ever dreamed. This link, which they had worked so hard to remove, is in the process of becoming an unbreakable tie. They have succeeded in restoring that reputation with even more honor than they had before they attempted to destroy it. With regard to them, you do not need to do any effort at all. It is not necessary for you to say anything on their behalf. It is not necessary for you to focus any of your energy on them in any way. Simply proceed along the road of light that you have chosen, and see as the darkness that they have generated in order to surround you instead returns to devour them. What is the difference in how you feel about your meditation now? Your dreams have become more distinct and have taken on a new depth. Information appears to download directly into your mind, bypassing the conventional avenues of learning and processing. Your intuitive hits arrive with greater clarity and authority than they did before. This is not a coincidence. You are gaining access to higher dimensions that were previously out of your reach. The signals that you are getting are from spiritual frequencies that other people are unable to comprehend. Through this connection, you are able to communicate with cosmic intelligences that acknowledge you as a deserving recipient of their knowledge. You are not experiencing numbness or denial while you are experiencing serenity in the midst of external chaos. Rather, it is enhanced consciousness that enables you to perceive the perfect order that lies underlying the apparent mess. You are not ignorant when you are able to maintain clarity when others are panicking. Rather, it is spiritual sight that shows the purpose that lies inside what appears to be randomness. The frequency at which you are vibrating is one that they are unable to recognize or penetrate. You are going to be functioning on a plane that they are unable to access or understand. You have reached a level of consciousness that is so different from theirs that their attacks of lower vibrations are simply unable to reach you. Despite the fact that you have moved beyond their range, they are continuing to fire arrows at you. Take note of the fact that knowledge that you should not have been able to get through conventional ways suddenly comes to your attention. It is important to pay attention to the manner in which solutions come to you completely formed, how guidance emerges precisely when it is required, and how wisdom flows through you that surpasses the information you have gathered. You have been granted a higher level of access clearance. The majority of people are unable to perceive certain frequencies, but your consciousness has been tuned to them. Direct downloads from source intelligence, which are communications from cosmic databases that have not been censored, are now being presented to you. There is no such thing as naivety. Rather, this unexplainable optimism that is flowing over you is your spirit acknowledging that the struggle has already been won. It is not an accident that you are experiencing these synchronicities taking place everywhere. Rather, they are evidence that you are following the road that is guarded. You are not experiencing luck when doors appear in front of you without any effort. Rather, they are evidence that you are aligned with the flow of the universe. There has been a change in your timeline. Your future, which was a future of effort, limitation, and slow deterioration, has been erased and replaced with a future in which your highest purpose unfolds with ease and elegance. This future was calculated for you. The destiny that they intended to avoid has turned out to be unavoidable, and the grandeur that they attempted to deny has turned out to be inexorable. The ease that you are experiencing today, after such a fight, is not a transient state. Rather, it is the restoration of your divine inheritance. The flow that you experience is not brief. Rather, it is the reclaiming of your original state. The manifestation of prosperity in various aspects of your life is not a random occurrence. Rather, it is the universal reaction to the vibrational elevation that you have achieved. You have been implanted into a whole new probability timeline, one in which the impediments that were supposed to hamper you have been eliminated. The support structures that are necessary to raise you have been installed, and the connections that are necessary to fulfill your purpose have been established. The current situation is not merely a small course correction. Rather, it represents a total shift in reality. You are currently navigating a version of existence that has been specially calibrated for your maximum expression and biggest influence. You have demonstrated beyond a reasonable doubt that you are powerless to be defeated, not by human opposition, not by spiritual warfare, not by organized attacks, and not by coordinated attempts from several dimensions. Despite all that has been thrown at you, you have managed to triumph over it all and emerge victorious beyond anything you could have ever imagined. You are receiving this message at the precise moment that you require it to be delivered to you. It has not arrived a day earlier or a day later. Due to the fact that you are currently experiencing divine timing, these words have arrived at just the correct moment. The struggle that was once the defining characteristic of your existence has been replaced by synchronicity. When you soar above their reach, the forces that formerly collaborated against you now observe in silent wonder as you surpass their capabilities. Your exponential growth is now being fueled by the energies that they used to maintain your confinement. Now, the obstacles that they built in order to restrict you are serving as the basis for your unparalleled ascent. Every assault that they launched against you has turned out to be a stepping stone on your way to becoming a wonderful person. The challenges that they positioned in front of you have turned out to be stepping stones on the path to your success. They have transformed each and every one of the traps that they place for you into a treasure chest of opportunities. The patience that you displayed was not just admirable, it was extraordinary. The resiliency that you displayed was not only remarkable, it was also life-changing. Not only did your faith motivate you, but it also served as the impetus that transformed challenges into channels, obstacles into opportunities, and problems into power. As the greatest form of cosmic alchemy, this is the turning of lead into gold, of poison into medicine, and of impediments into acceleration. The very forces that were intended to destroy you have been transformed into fuel for your ascension. The energies that were deployed against you have been transformed into power that is pouring through you, and the barriers that were created to contain you have become the firm foundation upon which your empire now grows. This is not merely the process of converting lemons into lemonade. Rather, it is the process of obtaining rocket fuel from nuclear waste. Look at the hands you have. Honestly, take a look at these. The hands that built while others attempted to destroy are the ones that are shown here. While others were plotting to bring down, these are the hands that were responsible for creating. These hands were the ones that brought about abundance, while others were plotting to bring about a lack of it. These are the hands that are responsible for the flow of divine power into this field, which is within this physical realm. Feel your heart pumping in your chest while it does so. Furthermore, that beat is not only keeping you alive, it is also pulsating cosmic energy throughout your entire being. These beats are not only pumping blood through your body, they are also circulating an unconquerable life force throughout your body. That consistent rhythm is not merely a biological function. Rather, it is the drum of triumph that reverberates from the very center of your being. Take a few slow, deep breaths.